What's going on, my fellow collectors? Jim here with another figure review. Tonight I'm super excited to be checking out my first Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat figure, which is the Noob Saibot, which is a special edition that has the blood and everything all over him. So, very cool. I like the packaging. It's very dark, very black. We get an awesome image right here. You got Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat, big open window, but with the figure being just straight black, you really don't see much in there at all, but more or less like the effects. Top of the packaging, you got that. Bottom of the packaging, you got that. One side, you got an awesome image. Other side, you got another awesome image. And on the back, you got all these cool images of the figure showing off everything that is included. Little read up there on the Noob Saibot. So very cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and pop this thing open and check out how awesome this figure is. Okay, here he is out of the packaging, along with all the awesome accessories we do get with this guy. There is this kind of pull-out that you can pull out of the back for a backdrop if you wanted to. It's nice, you know, kind of thick cardboard, and it does have a really nice graphic of Mortal Kombat in there, so very cool. Of course, you do have an instruction pamphlet that just goes over how to swap out the heads, the mask, the hands, the spear, special effect parts, and then his, you know, hellfire. So that's really neat. And then of course he does come with all of these awesome accessories, which is another one of the reasons why I wanted to pick this guy up, because I think especially for the blood effects, you have to get this guy in order to get the, you know, the certain effects. But yeah, let's go over them. He does come with the skull that you can place on the body, of course. And the skull is done really nice. Nice paint, nice sculpt on this thing. Very cool, nice wash all throughout it. Looks awesome. Has a crazy hinge on it. Look at that. Really awesome hinge on that. So that's cool. Of course, he does come with two fisted hands. You get two kind of open hands. And like the plastic is like translucent. I don't know if you can, yeah, you guys can see that. It's a very translucent plastic that they used for this guy. And then of course all the plates just have, all the hands have the blood splatter on it. The plates look great. They have nice, you know, dry brushing on them. So that's very cool. He does have two kind of like gripping hands, or more like, you know, clenched hands. And again, those are done nice. He does have two flat hands, karate chop type hands. They look awesome. Very cool. Then he does come with another kind of single gripping hand. So that's very cool. And I'm guessing this is for if you have the figure with the spine, you can, you know, put the spine and have him holding the spine with the skull on it up. So very cool. Of course, we do get his spear, which looks good. Nice blood on the tip of it, nice silver color. And of course, we do have the rope. And this kind of works just like, kind of works like your Spider-Man figures, where you you know, pop the hand off and then pop this over the peg, and then you just place the hand over, just kind of get it lined up almost like you would with Spider-Man. So very cool. It does work and look good. Now this part is kind of like a softer, I don't know, it's not a rope, but it has a very kind of weird texture feeling to it. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't think you're supposed to be bending it around. So I think it's supposed to, for the most part, just stay straight. But the hands are nice and soft, very easy to swap the hands on and off. The only issue I've had is I have, you know, messing around with it, popped the torso out. But I mean, I just had to fix the ball joint and then put them back together. That was one issue. And I will say the skull has a very small hole and it's really hard to get it on the neck joint. But he does come with the kind of traditional Mortal Kombat 1 mask, which has a really nice sculpt to it. It does have the blood effect on it. And then of course, removing that, you just kind of, you know, pull this away from his face. It's just a peg and you got the hole. He looks creepy like that, don't he? And then you do have the option, if I don't drop it, of the Mortal Kombat 2 mask. Just kind of pop that on there. And that's cool. It's got the nice little, you know, sculpted, you know, lines on it. I kind of prefer this traditional Mortal Kombat look. And the hood is nice and soft, so it will kind of get up out of the way. Kind of tuck it in between there and then place that back in. Very simple to do. And then the other awesome thing is we get these great effects with this guy. So we get 2 blood splatter effects, and I think these are fantastic. So you have one with the little ball joint you can put into the head of another character. So that's really cool. So you can basically like pop this into the head, and the blood is done really nice. Again, we get translucent plastic, really dark, rich reds that kind of fade up to a pink and then go to clear. Looks very cool, and there is some kind of like wash in there, so that brings it out. And then of course we have the blood splatter that you can then put onto a ball peg, and this looks really cool as well. Again, nice detail with the sculpt, nice soft translucent plastic. We get that awesome red, very cool. And pop the head off here, and you can then place this onto the ball joint of the neck. So that is awesome, and then you get this kind of effect. So I guess technically you would have to find some way of holding this up in the air for those of you that like to take, the pictures. So you have to figure that out, but very cool. Just awesome effects. Like I said before, getting this skull head on that ball joint, man, it just doesn't want to go for me. So I just been kind of just barely getting it on there. But this is what it looks like. It is a little bit small, it looks like, for the body. But I mean, I guess technically, in compared with the head that comes on them, I guess it does kind of match up. Where if all the skin was off of this guy and you just had the bone, it would look a little bit small. But it does look a little bit small on the body, but it still, doesn't, take away from the overall look of it. Very cool. Especially when you try to hinge the jaw down. It's like I still can't get that head all the way onto that ball peg. But it does come with this awesome Hellfire effect, and this is really cool. It's made again with like kind of like a softer material, but it is a little bit more hard, but it's not like brittle or anything. But we get really cool reds that go down to oranges and yellows. Very cool. And then of course we have the effect for the ground, and this thing looks really good. I love the sculpt on this, love the translucent plastic, and I love all the dark reds and oranges and yellows that we get. And how this works is obviously you put that on the ground, you got your noob blowing the fire, and it's just you kind of have to like mess with him and get him in a pose to get it to really kind of work, because he's so tall. But this sits in there right nice and easy, and then you just kind of pop that into the mouth. So it doesn't, there's not like an actual port or anywhere this goes, just kind of goes in his mouth and just kind of sits there, and this will rest on there. But very cool effects, for what they are. Very awesome. Now taking a closer look at this figure. Now if you have the Scorpion or the Sub-Zero, it's basically the same exact thing. So they're doing what a lot of other companies are doing, and trying to get as much as they can for the one mold. But I mean, for a special edition, and with it being the noob and everything, it's cool. It's really awesome how it's just that straight black. And like I said, they use that kind of translucent plastic, but overall it looks really cool. It looks just like your Scorpion or Sub-Zero would. But we do get the nice kind of blood splatter effects all over the place on this guy. Again, we get really nice sculpting. But yeah, I mean, it's basically just black. Besides some of the red splatter, blood splatter, then of course we do get some really nice dry brushing here, unlike the, excuse me, unlike his gauntlets and the top plates of his hands, and then really nice dry brushing on the knee pads and shin guards. Nice sculpted wrinkles all over the gi and everything, and these are really nice soft pieces you can actually pull down. So you could technically remove this if you wanted to. But you can see that like translucent plastic, you can see right through and see the the light shining through it. And he even has blood splatter on the back of him. So I mean, it really goes all over this figure with the blood splatter. But very cool looking figure at the end of the day. Great articulation, nice movement with the head. You get really nice up, really nice down. The neck also kind of hinges forward. It's like soft. Like the whole neck piece is kind of like a squishy softness. but you can get them looking straight down, looking straight up. Of course, you do have full rotation, and you get really nice side to side. So that's awesome. The arms are your ball hinge. They can come out even more than that if you really kind of force it. Really nice out. Of course, there is a butterfly in there if you don't pull the joint out of it. So it's basically just a big ball peg, but I thought, yeah, there's a little bit of movement. There is a little bit of forward and back butterfly movement, so that's nice. But that does hinge out. Of course, you do have your bicep swivel. You do have double jointed elbows, so you get nice movement with that. Of course, you have the ball hinges for the fist, or in all of the hands. Now the torso, again, like I said, mine popped off pretty easy, but I was really pushing it to kind of see what I could get out of it, you know. But you do have rotation there at this cut right here in the mid, torso. You do get side to side. You get really nice back, really nice forward. And then you get the same movement at the waist. So with both joints, you can really get them crunching over a nice bit. And you can really get them hunching back really good. And that's what happened. I was really pushing this back and it just popped out, but it's really easy to pop that back in there. It's just a single ball peg with a hinge, of course. You do get rotation and side to side. So great movement with this guy all the way around. You kind of get that all around motion with that. The legs are really nice. You can do the full splits. Kick forward really nice. All this is soft so it gets up out of the way. Kicking back decent amount. You do have a little bit of rotation around there, not much though, but there's a little bit of rotation around that joint. Double jointed knees, really nice movement and don't look too bad. And then for the feet, you kind of have a ball hinge, but it will go back quite a bit, go forward quite a bit. It does rotate, and you can get a little bit of pivot out of it, but you have to manipulate that ball joint to get it. But it does go side to side, and you do have the toe joint. So I mean, really at the end of the day, this thing just makes a very, very cool figure. I mean, you're going to be able to get them into some really cool poses, especially with the effects. But giving this guy a measurement, it looks like he is about 7 inches to the top of his head. And as far as just a few comparisons, here he is with the homemade suit Spider-Man, which I was messing around with, seeing if the blood effects would work on a Marvel Legends, and it does. You can just kind of cram. I mean, like this ball peg isn't made for it, but you can just kind of cram it up in there because it's nice and soft. So that is cool. And then even this effect, just push the hinge back, of course, and just kind of set it on top of there. So that's really cool. So it will work with your other 112-inch figures. But let me get Spider-Man's head back on him here. But yeah, here he is next to the homemade suit Spider-Man Marvel Legends figure. Here he is next to the Marvel Select Ghost Rider. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Taskmaster, which is the Bucky Cat body, so that gives you a nice little size comparison. Because I know a lot of Marvel Legends collectors have that body at least on one of their figures. And then here he is next to Colossus. And here he is next to Pickle Rick! So very cool. But yeah, guys, that was a look at the awesome Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat, the Noob Saibot. Very cool figure, awesome accessories, great posability. At the end of the day, a very cool figure. And I'm definitely looking forward to picking up more of the Mortal Kombat line from Storm Collectibles. But that was the review. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next figure review. Take care.